Hey coders, and welcome to episode 7 of our slide service playlist on the Google Apps Script course. In this video we're going to be talking about the tables that go in a presentation. So a table is a little bit more complex than just a shape or a image, so there are a lot of methods that could be discussed, but the top 6 methods for this video are going to be as table, get tables, insert table, get cell, insert row, and insert column. So let's jump into the code and take a look at each of these methods. So like always, you can get a page element or an array of page elements from the slide, but this is going to be an instance of the generic object of page element. So you're not going to get specific methods for, say, an image or a line or a table. Because again, if you tried to get, say, a page element and then you said, all right, give me the contents of this cell, then that's not going to make so much sense if you say have this as your page element. This is not a table. You can't get the cell of a line. So in order to get the methods for a class of a table, you're going to have to type convert your page element into a table. So to do that, you need to say page element dot as table. So this is the method. Again, you can use as any of these different types of page elements, but since we're covering tables today, let's look at as table. So this is going to return us a table, and then after we have our table, we can get certain things like a get cell, get column. All that makes sense now once we have a table. It doesn't make so much sense when you have just a generic page element. So we'll just store this in a constant called table, and then we'll keep moving. So again, you can do this. You can get the page elements and then get the tables from that, or you can typecast your page element into a table, or you could just say, all right, give me the slide, and then what I want from that slide are just the tables, and ignore all the other page elements. So this is the method to do that. You would say slide.getTables, and it will return for you an array of tables. So let's just take a look at that in the logs just to make sure that we are doing this correctly. We'll hit save and we'll hit run. If we view our logs now, we should just get one table, and it should be this table right here. None of these other elements are considered a table. So if we, so here we go. So we have our table, and it's just the only element in this array. Great. So that is working correctly. Alrighty. So now that we know how to get tables, let's learn how to insert a table. So this is a very simple method to do. It is, let me first comment this out. I'll say slide dot insert, just like before when we had to insert images or shapes. There's a method called insert table, and there are 3 options for us right here. We can either insert a table and then give it the number of rows and number of columns of that table. We could do that same thing, but then also position our table using these optional positioning parameters. Again, this is the number of points from, or pixel points from the left of the slide, and then from the top of the slide, how wide it is and how tall it is. And then we could also insert a table if there is a pre-existing slides table somewhere on a different presentation, or on our existing presentation but on a different slide. We could get a hold of that table and then just insert that right into this method in this parameter spot right here. But since we could do that, and that is kind of boring, let's actually just make ourselves a new table. Alrighty, so let's just pick this one for now. We don't need to position it at all. So number of rows, this is going to be, of course, the number of rows. So if we say 4 rows, and columns, let's just say that's going to be 5 columns. So if we hit save now and we hit run, we should get on our presentation this table right here. And I don't know if you can see it, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, 4 rows, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. And then again, we can position this around as we'd like to, but this is our wonderful table right here. Alrighty, let me just delete that for now, and we'll move on to the next method. So the next method is going to be get cell. So once you have a table, say right here, then what you can do is you can access the cells of that table. So you could, first off, I'm just going to showcase this real quick. So you can get the columns, right? So you could say get column if you have a specific column, and then after you have that column, it will return a table column. and then you can get the cell in that column specifically, or you could do the exact same thing except for with rows. You could get a row, and then from that table row class you could get the cell, and that would work fine to get the cell. However, you can just get the cell directly off the table and then give it the row index and column index all in one, and then that will return for you a table cell. So let's do that. Let's say we wanted to get this cell right here. So this is going to be, again, index 0. So the column would be 0, 1, 2, and then the row index would be 0, 1, 2 right here. So it's going to be an index 2, 2. Alright, so again, the row index is going to be 2, the column index is going to be 2. And if you remember, this is going to return a table cell. So we have access to methods on this, or access to methods. We can say get the text of that, like we saw with the shapes episode. And then after we have our text range, we need to convert it into a string. Again, I know it's a long process, but that is how Slides app works. It is very object-oriented, structured. Alright, so let's just see this now. If we logger.log this, again, we're getting the table, and then we're getting the table cell instance, or we're getting an instance of a table cell, and then we're getting the text range from that, and then we're converting it into a string. Alright, so if we hit save and we hit run, we'll view the logs, and it should return 24. And here it is. So here is our 24 that is in our cell right there. And of course, you don't have to just get the text and return it as a string. You can also get the text but then set it as well. And that will overwrite any data that is in that cell. Great, so that is get cell. Now let's look at two more methods, and that is insert row and insert column. So if you need to expand your table at all, then what you can do is say table dot insert column and insert row, and again this will return an instance of a table column and a table row. So after you have inserted a column, let's say the index is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, so we want to append something to this, we can say index 3, and then we can do the same thing for a row. We can say table dot insert row. We can also say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now this is going to be our 5th row. So let's do that. And then we will hit save. And let me just actually comment this out real quick, but we'll hit run. And it ran successfully, and then you can see now we have a new column and a new row. And then after that we can start inserting data into each of these cells if we would like to, but that is how to modify your table by inserting new rows and new columns. Alright guys, like I said, there is a lot that I haven't covered just because tables are very complex. In a way, they have a lot of different objects and a lot of different methods attached to those. As you can see, we haven't even covered any of these methods right here that are part of a table row or say part of a table column. But there is a lot of exploring for you guys to do, and I hope this will give you a introduction to the table class and all the things that you can do with a table. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed it and learned something in this video. If you did like it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.